All right, we are live. I am live once again. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Poppitt's Corner. I have, of course, your host, Tanner Poppitt. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Huh? Having just a spot of tea right now. I'm looking forward to talking some shop here tonight. Now, I, again, I never have things planned to an extent. I just have some topics I like discussing here, and normally I do what I call solo shows on here, just to again get reacquainted with you guys out there in the world. And if you want to come and join the conversation, feel free to do so. I'd love to have you. Now, I keep saying we, and I'm gonna kind of pull the curtain back a little bit. We're doing something very special. I mean, and when I say we, there's also one of our show, I guess, supporters here. He loves the show. I greatly appreciate his support. He loves the band. He supports Madrost and whatnot, and he's also doing his own thing. His radio program out in he's somewhere in the mountains. Again, I'm terrible at explaining shit, so I'm gonna let him explain it and whatnot. But I'd like to please bring on my good buddy, Mr. Benny Ragnar. What's going on, sir? How
Hey,
are
how's it
we
going?
doing?
I'm
Good, man.
doing I'm doing okay. I'm getting over being sick. I had to turn down an extra shift yesterday, and then I had to call out for work today. But the good thing is we were doing the interview today. I do feel better, and I did get paid today, so that kind of helps.
Well, all works out.
And
But I appreciate you coming on the show and hanging. I really, generally, just thank you very much for all the years of support that you've given
yeah, man.
to Madross,
It's been
especially.
yeah, 4 years maybe, because uh I want to
I
say it's
can't even
been
remember at
4
this point.
years. Me neither. I can't remember if I found you guys, if I found Madrost, if I found you on Facebook first and then Bandcamp, or Bandcamp and then Facebook, and then I know one of those first two happened, and then I believe I found you and started talking to you. So, and here we are 4 years later.
I love it. We've been friends ever since, and we've never
Yeah,
met in
man.
real life. So hopefully
Yeah,
that'll
well,
change in the near
hopefully,
future,
yeah. Me
right?
come that way, you come this way, we meet in the middle, or whatever, however that hopefully happens someday.
Now, before we even get to the some of the topics I have, especially in the title of this video here,
Mhm.
I want to get to your specific background in radio and just discuss with the viewership here. What exactly do you do as far as promoting bands, or how are you ingrained in the community? Because you do, offer something that's
Mhm.
incredibly valuable. I don't think that people realize, and that is being in radio and podcasting. And
Mhm.
this is going to segue into how radio and podcasting play a part in
Mhm.
showcasing new bands. So if you can kind of give us some of your background in radio and what you're kind of up to now, let
Well,
everybody know.
pretty much I just started up a Vozcast and started asking bands that I liked that weren't, the most popular, and kinda just went from there. I did that for almost a year, which my music background goes back to when I was like 15 with my friend Jeremy and one of his friends on guitar and drums, as well as my first instrument was violin when I was like 12 years old. And then I moved on to playing bass guitar, went up to Chicago and joined a friend's band on bass, ended up switching to vocals. And then from there, I pretty much just stayed vocals. And I always struggled to find a band and to keep it together with bands. And eventually I became a solo artist, but the problem with that is I had a bad hand injury when I was 21. So I've been learning to play guitar for the last 5, 6, 7 years, or however long it's been now. I've lost track, but basically with a semi crippled hand, which is where my main band Crippled Riff comes from. But I have many different projects there as well, as far as music, black metal, death metal, acoustic stuff. I love all types of metal and pretty much music in general. Uh, as far as radio though, I wanna bring that back and get it going again. I felt like I was getting it going, but things with my personal life that, I don't really care to get into the details of, but basically about to go through a divorce. Things weren't great then. My parents were moving out here and they were living with us, and it was hard for me to get the room that I needed and keep it quiet to be able to do it, as well as just computer issues. I can't wait to get this damn house sold so I can give me a proper setup and I can really do what I want to do, be able to edit. I'm not worried about movie, quality editing and stuff like that, but I want to put a little something into it and it be what I want. I've deleted too much stuff over the years and I wish I wouldn't have. I wish I would have just purely changed the name. Like,
Now, I'm curious though why you got into radio and podcasting in general,
uh,
and why so late in your respective, in your life respectively, of course.
uh, me catching up to technology, I guess, having the opportunity to do it. I was a stay-at-home dad for 6 years, so I started trying to learn about it, and, my wife, she worked, and she was a manager for the place that she worked, so she worked a lot of hours, and, you know, things there kind of fell apart over the years and just a whole lot of things kind of compacted. I wish I was still using it because I was starting to get more and more listeners and stuff before I shut down Goripi Studios. And yeah, it's one of those, it bounces between the sore subject of married life, having a kid, and so yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
because
I'm kind of I'm kind of back to the drawing board. House of Ragnar. Ragnar is based off of one of the black metal nicknames I've had since like 98, 99.
okay, so again, so you're doing Goripi Studios.
Mhm.
I particularly, and might have to send it to you if you don't have some copies of it, but
Okay.
I kind of bootlegged some stuff that you did for us. I kind of ripped the
Okay.
video
Oh, okay,
off of
cool.
the
Well,
yeah,
shit, I'll repost it.
yeah,
Like I
if
said,
you
I wish I
even
I
have
wish
them.
I wouldn't have deleted so much. I thought I had some pretty good stuff. What was I can't remember the song I did, but I did a reaction video to a band called Womb Bath, and I was able to connect that to the Kevin Costner and Kurt Russell movie 3,000 Miles from Graceland. You ever seen that? Oh, you gotta check that movie out. I'll send you the trailer for it, but I'm able to connect it to that, and, I
But
f
specifically, I guess
yeah.
what I'm, and not to cut you off, but specifically
Yeah,
what
yeah, go
I guess
ahead.
what I'm asking, and it's gonna generate into some topics here, is
Mhm.
why radio and podcasting? Did you not see a
It
lot
was
of that in your
fun to
area,
do.
and where particularly are you at?
Right now, I live in, well, technically it's Dawsonville, Georgia, but Dahlonega, Georgia is kind of where it's supposed to be. I guess the lines got redrawn years back, and so I'm kind of in this fucked up area. Like, I believe this place is the first place in Dahlonega or in Dawsonville when you leave Dahlonega. So it's just, yeah, fucked up zoning shit, I guess, that happens over the years. But Dahlonega, Georgia, it's like a gold mining town. I live on almost 3 acres with a little stream, and I'm eventually gonna get out there when I get the proper equipment and do a little gold mining. I've been out there with my metal detector, and the shit's just everywhere.
I love it, and
So, yeah, yeah,
your metal detector, huh?
yeah. Hell
Um,
yeah.
Now did you start to notice not a lot of just radio in general out in your specific area,
Uh,
and is there a rabid metal community out there?
it
I don't even know what's in Georgia as far as metal goes.
uh, yeah, there's a good bit of metalheads around. I can't wait to be able to get out to shows and start meeting a lot of people, at shows. I was thinking about taking a camera, maybe doing photography type stuff or just using my phone. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just ready to get out to some shows because it's been more than a decade since I've been to any type of show. And
Awesome.
yeah.
So now, okay, so now that we have some sort of backstory for you,
Mhm.
and like I said, I appreciate you coming on and giving me a few minutes of your
Yeah.
time to do this with us. we're just gonna shoot the shit, and I have some
Yeah.
topics here. I'd love to get your opinion and just
Okay.
carry on a conversation. So you ready?
All right. Yeah, let's go.
All right. So let's just get the main topic out of the way that we titled this specific video. And we were discussing earlier this week about alt tech, as I call
Mhm.
it, Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, things of that
Mhm.
nature that I think are so important. I really do. I
Mhm.
really think, even having like a Truth Social, super important
Yeah.
to I guess just
Alternatives,
yes.
alternatives need to be there because I I guess everybody's not gonna agree here and agree there and agree there. So there should be three other options for people to go to. And, some of them are going to stay big. Some of them are only going to grow so big. But you need options in this world. There's 7
Well,
billion people on the planet. You know what I mean?
well, not only that, but you also need to have again, not give the oligarchs a stronghold on
Hmm.
information
Yeah.
and especially bands and whatnot. I really would love to see more bands utilizing alt tech
Hmm.
more so than ever before. I think it's
Yeah.
super important. I know Madras
Especially right
is
now while there isn't much music on there. Like, I need to sit down and get my damn drum tracks recorded, and that'll be a little easier for me to get at least some guitar and drum demo shit up on there.
well, right, but where I'm going with this is that, you know, like Madras is on Rumble and
Mhm,
Odyssey and BitChute and whatnot, and it's
mhm,
super important for again, just we're the only band on there as far as I
mhm.
know. There's not a lot of metal bands on
Yeah,
there in our genre of music. So again, if you're one of the the first bands to get on there, man, I mean,
mhm.
you're in good shape. I
Yeah,
don't think that the YouTube is the way to go anymore. I just,
yeah.
you know, things
I
die
think
out
it's
and things have
still
to.
I think it's still super helpful, but like you said about the oligarchs, and you don't wanna have monopolies and stuff like that, and, I don't think YouTube is gonna stay a monopoly. Rumble's gonna rise up, Odyssey, it's just gonna be different levels. And
And
maybe
I
YouTube will stay at the top of that little pyramid, but right up under it will be the other ones, and, I don't know, maybe a change in ownerships or stuff down the line, maybe things could get better, I don't know. I try to be optimistic, but then sometimes it's like, I don't know. You know what I
well,
mean?
my whole thing with it is that we can't give all of them again a monopoly, all of them power.
Mhm,
We can't give all of the I don't know, the whoever owns YouTube and whatnot, whoever runs it,
mhm,
I don't know at this point, but you can't put all your eggs in one basket here. And where I'm going with
exactly.
this is you gotta spread it out. And I think because YouTube is again so readily available and whatnot, that's why most people go to it, which I get, but
Mhm,
you also have to kind of inconvenience yourself uh,
mhm,
sometimes to make the best for humanity. And
yeah,
you know, I hate to tell you guys this, but some of you guys, all of you guys actually, go check out one of those alternate
mhm,
platforms and see which
yeah.
ones you like.
Rumble, I'm on BitChute, and like I think I was telling you, I need to get Odyssey going again. I need to get a bunch of the other stuff, the Instagram. I thought about snagging up a TikTok, but I just gotta have some better equipment, so all of my, all that energy into creativity isn't going into just frustration with equipment. Like, my
Right.
microphone is probably the best thing I have in here. And maybe the drum heads, I guess. Well, I guess my guitar and amp, so I'm being a bit hyperbolic, but as far as my laptops and stuff that I have, they're just bottom of the line. I need to get this damn house sold, I was saying earlier, so I can get some better stuff and get better stuff out there, more how I want it and not tempted to delete it.
Well, again, so going back to my specific point and whatnot, I
Mhm.
think it's
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
really, really important to spread out the content because
Mhm.
again, when you get it's just I can't it'll benefit your band. If you're in a band, why
Mhm.
not? You have nothing to
Yeah.
lose. They're free. And I totally disagree with the notion though that like a Rumble or an Odyssey or BitChute have to be bought and sold by a bigger platform in order for it to
Mhm.
grow. I don't believe in that. I think
Yeah.
the numbers showcase for itself because Google, excuse me, my voice is all cracking here, but
Oh,
Google
you're
bought
good.
out YouTube and then it turned to shit. And where I'm going with
Yeah.
this is that could potentially happen to one of these alt
Yeah.
platforms. Hence, a bigger company buys it out and is has their set narrative and applies it to that platform and ruins the
Mhm.
whole platform for people. You
Yeah.
know, I'm all about freedom of speech. I know that's
Yeah,
like
yeah. Same
the
here.
so
Same here.
I know
Like,
certain platforms do not like freedom of speech, and
yeah.
that's a problem.
I have some music, a project that I wonder how the hell I'm gonna put it up on the internet and how it's gonna probably get censored.
You'd be surprised.
Like,
I mean, you could put it on
yeah.
Spotify's and whatnot
Well
too, and just try out every market.
well, I'm gonna try to get some drums recorded, and I'll make sure I get this one song recorded, and even if I have to do the shitty guitar that I didn't like before, I'll send it to you with vocals as well. You're
So
gonna laugh your ass off. It's like funny, I don't know, funny grindcore metal, some shit, I guess is what I'm gonna be going for, like death metal, really short songs, just off the wall shit. But I'll send that to you. But,
sure.
you was asking too about me and the radio thing, like, I really wanna get that shit back going as well because that was fun. Because I did, like, a behind the scenes show where you could see me here, but you had to tune in to the specific channel to hear the music, and then I could chat with people behind the scenes and stuff. Sometimes my kid would come on, and he would act right and not just he would get in front of the camera sometimes and wanna be stupid, so I'd have to cut the camera and cut the mic and be all like, "Apollo, now."
Well, let's go back to my original question though. How beneficial is radio and podcasting to
Oh, that's
new
right. That was what I
bands?
was trying to remember too, how beneficial. Well, I mean, it really depends on the size of that person, you know? Like, I did the radio show, I think, for 7 or 8 months, and I got to where I had 5 regular listeners on, like, the mainstream channel that was on the Voscast, and then on YouTube and the Facebook, everywhere that I would post it, uh, I don't know. I think I got more than like 20,000 views on it in the first 7 months, and I had a couple of people that would stop in and say hey throughout the show for the behind the scenes thing. So, I mean, it was slowly growing. I just I wish I could have kept it going, but between a marriage kind of falling apart, my parents were living with us at the same time. It was hard to get the time slot that I needed. That I was like, "Hey, is this going to be an issue?" No, it's not going to be an issue. But then it turned into an issue, and so it just got harder and harder to do. Plus, like having a kid,
So
kind of.
so what you're saying though is going back to the initial point here is it is
Mm-hmm.
beneficial for bands
Mm-hmm.
to get on any platform
Mm-hmm.
or any radio or any
Mm-hmm.
podcast, and you're starting to see, and
And
you've
it's
been
really and
seeing
it's
this.
really important too for the, bands to make sure and show support to those radio shows that are playing them. You know what I
Well, right,
mean?
but you're starting to see though big name.
Because, like oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me finish my point, and then you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
interject here. But you're starting to see big name players go on every single podcast, every single
Mhm.
radio show. It doesn't even matter. It's just
Mhm.
the more platforms you're on, the better. It's like more
Yeah.
content you put out there, the better for bands
Well,
and
exactly.
whatnot.
Exactly.
So anyway,
Well,
go ahead.
see, what it is, getting a stir of different fans, intermingling and getting a good algorithm going that helps everybody grow. You know what I mean? The lowest guy on that totem pole will grow a little bit, the bigger ones will grow just a little bit more, and onwards, and I guess grassroots, you might call it. you know?
Right.
Go
So
ahead.
this is gonna branch into a topic that I've pounded into the ground for years and years
Mhm,
and years at this point. And I've always this is one of the questions I always ask, and it just doesn't get answered. And I think I have some theories as to why.
mhm,
But you're mentioning when big players go on smaller, podcasts, it grows the channel, grows the players,
mhm,
grows themselves. I'm
mhm.
not seeing that when it comes to bands. I'm not seeing big name guys take out the smaller guys. I'm not seeing the
Yeah,
torch being
yeah.
carried down anymore. I'm seeing it with podcasts, sure, and radio stuff, but I'm not seeing it with bands in general. And my question is, why?
I don't know. Uh,
I have
that's
two.
really a good question. Why? Like,
I have two
let
theories
me
here.
take these headphones off for a second to
Yeah,
fix
you're
my
you're
glasses.
good. You're good. Well, I have two theories here, and
All
one
right.
of my so I have two theories here. One
Mhm.
is they're always afraid that the new bands are going to crush they're gonna crush them
Yeah.
on stage, meaning
I mean,
they're
that's
gonna outplay them. And there's something to this. There's some
mhm.
truth to this, but they're afraid that they're gonna lose fans over having a new band because they know the new band is gonna outplay them.
Yeah.
That's one, and my second is the ticket sales. I think
Mhm.
because you're starting to see astronomical, the tickets be just astronomical in terms of pricing goes, merch
Yeah.
being fucking 50 to 60 to $70. My good buddy who's a avid listener, I hope he's listening here,
Mhm.
Jacob, you rule, dude. But he was telling me that some of the bands are charging that much for a t-shirt. And
Yeah,
again, so
that's crazy.
is it done intentional? Is it done intentional? I don't know. So maybe
Mhm.
you can answer any of these points or branch off or tell me I'm full of shit or whatever, but I just want
Like,
to ask why.
well, I do think it has a lot to do with inflation, but I think a lot of bands are getting greedy with it. So I think it's a
Mm,
combination of that. They're taking advantage of the inflation and getting greedy with it. I think that might be a big part of it, because like you're saying about getting, we were talking about, uh, I think it was the other night about getting vinyl, how much harder it is. And that's because of raw materials, because of gas and stuff like that. And, I don't want to dive too much into that type of thing, but inflation is a real thing that it affects us all. And some people will take advantage of being able, yeah, they should only jack the price up, say double, but they're going to go triple or even more if they can. And if they see enough people are buying it, they'll keep doing that.
but here's something that's going to crush your theory here. They've been doing it
Mhm.
even before that. The
Were
last
they?
10, 15
Okay,
years.
well,
Yes. Yeah, that's why you started to see the same
I guess I've
tours.
been locked inside of a house for the last 6 years for too long that I didn't really get to go to the shows and really see that happen more so in real time. Usually, I find good deals on Amazon for stuff, or Bandcamp. That's where I got most, the Madras stuff was from Bandcamp or
So
directly
so
from
again,
you, actually, I think.
probably. But
I think it
again,
was it was both. I think I ordered something through Bandcamp, and then I got some other stuff from you and just sent you the money. I don't remember. Fuck.
yeah, either it's irrelevant to this
Yeah.
conversation. So
I
what
couldn't find my Madras shirt. So, and this happened to be the shirt, Mr. Miyagi, that I woke up with this morning. And uh oh God,
well, well,
I
either
done got
way,
a little
either way.
stone
So
too. The new
no, so
band that I'm listening to with
right.
Melissa. Um,
Oh,
I
Stygian
love that.
Crown, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she's Japanese. I happened to put this shirt on today, and I put this on specifically because I already had this on. I couldn't find the Madras shirt. So, you know, I thought the whole thing kind of went together. I was
Well, I
talking to her
appreciate
earlier,
it.
though. She seems awesome. I hope to have her on for some type of interview sometime. Or
Oh,
maybe
you'll
all
get
three are, or maybe get the whole band together and do something through here with Poppitt's Corner down the line.
Yeah, we'll talk off air for
Yeah,
sure. But
yeah, yeah.
again, so let's go to this conversation. I know we're getting off on some tangents here. So
Yeah, my bad. It's what
so
happens when
my
you've been locked inside with a 6-year-old for, so many years and you don't get many adult conversations, and everybody wants to do this instead of, this. Even if we
right.
didn't have the video, that would be fine, but
Well,
I've been a
again, so
caged animal.
my point
Mhm.
is not to, beat your theory into the ground here, but we bands have been doing it for 20
Yeah.
plus years. That's you see the same bands touring,
Mhm.
I think just this year, Queensryche and Priest are touring again. That
Yeah.
was like the first show I saw 20 years ago.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? They
What
so
are
they're
what are their
still
prices like at shows now, do you know?
doesn't
Are
even
you
matter. My
like
point in all this is so not only do the big bands have the stronghold on the venues,
which you're right, they're not
not
taking out any younger bands,
but you
really.
couldn't sacrifice half hour for a new band to
Like,
for people to check out, like Haunt
mhm.
or fucking, I don't know, Bullet or
Is
Skull Fist or
Metallica
an
taking
Enforcement.
anybody out? I know they used to take out younger bands. They're not doing it anymore? Hmm,
No, I don't see any of them. Again,
hmm,
I want people to tell me I'm full of shit and prove me
yeah,
wrong, but I do not see it,
hmm.
you know? So anyway, just food for
I'm gonna
thought.
have to look deeper into that, really
Again,
pay
the
attention to
first
that,
the
like
first the first, step though is having
mhm,
the conversation and asking
yeah.
the questions, and that's what we're doing
Well,
here
see,
today.
one thing that I really like about metal is you can get 10 people into a room, and 10 people can come up with a list of, like, 20 or 30 bands that everybody hasn't heard of. That's one thing about this genre. So,
It's true, man. Now let's
there's
branch
always
off
some
of go
go
so
ahead.
let's branch off of into another subject that I wanna get your take on,
Okay.
and you were talking about vinyl plants. You were talking about, the inflation and things of that
Mhm,
nature. Now, I'm gonna go before inflation. I'm gonna go into
mhm,
the 10s right now, and I wanna
okay,
ask you this. I haven't seen a lot of factories being built with the whole demand
mhm.
for vinyl and whatnot. And again, my question is why?
Bad business practices in America overall. Uh, I don't like I said, bad business practices. I don't wanna go too deeply political or anything, so, you know, like
I'm not talking politics. I'm just
oh, I
asking.
know, but all of that all kind of flows together, and, like, especially the last 6 years, I paid attention a little too much to that shit, so now I'm trying to filter it out of myself a little bit where it doesn't dive into every conversation I get into.
Well, but even still,
'Cause
but there's a demand for it. There's a huge
there
demand
is
for it, and the supply is just not there. So
well,
there's got to be a reason. It's
like
probably is it done intentionally? Is it done for control? Is it done? I don't know.
well, that and maybe not enough investors right now, enough people not really believing in pushing vinyl as heavily, even though you do see it in Walmart, you see all the old remakes of old stuff, which is fine for wall hangers. I've seen a few things, I'd be like, "Ooh, I wouldn't mind having that just to throw a frame on and put up," which is what I wanna do with all of my vinyl eventually.
Wait. Let's go back to the point though. You said
Mhm,
old. You said old bands.
mhm.
I didn't hear new bands.
Well,
I heard old
I mean,
bands, and
I think
so
I've seen, like, Five Finger Death Punch. Not really my band or anything, but I think I have seen that, and, I mean, I guess they're newer. I think I've seen, like, Slipknot. I don't know if it's anything newer,
they're old.
like
That's an old band.
yeah, that's true, they are '90s, aren't god damn.
So,
I can't
again,
believe I'm 40 years old.
so you're only proving my point,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to
yeah.
branch off of
We
that
do we
and
do we do need to get other bands out there, and there's a lot of bands that got left behind too. You ever heard of, Wind of the Black Mountains?
no, I don't think I've ever heard them before.
Imma have to send you some stuff of theirs. One of my favorite bands. Is that CD up there?
Sh Sure. Well,
Uh,
anyway, regardless of the point, we'll
yeah.
we'll talk all this stuff off the air, but
Yeah,
we
yeah,
forget
for
people
sure.
are listening to us. So, another point that that I would love to discuss with you,
Mhm,
and again, you're a fan of bands just as myself, and my question to you is how important is it to you as a fan for any band? I don't care what band it is, but to have that extra to where it's not like a full length album, but like bands
mhm,
are again, I'm applying it to Madross and what we're doing. We're doing live albums. We're gonna be doing
mhm,
other special releases that aren't quote unquote new records,
mhm.
but they're things that
Yep.
should be out there in the universe and give the fans more of an opportunity to support us.
Mhm.
So, are you a fan of that specific stuff, even if it's not
Uh,
110% quality or
yeah, I love that stuff. My favorite Metallica albums are like S&M as well as the Live Ship Binge and Purge. My favorite Dido stuff, my favorite singer of all time. Everything I like by her is live or acoustic stuff. Well, there's some songs that she didn't do live or acoustic, so I'll listen to the album version. But I usually look for live stuff. I wanna see how good they can be compared to their albums, and if they're at least half as good, I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I can dig them."
right, so you want that realness to a
Mhm.
band because it probably
Yeah,
makes you feel closer to that
yeah.
band, right?
I don't like that fake I don't like that overproduced auto-tune type shit. If the music doesn't have that, then there's a good chance I might like that music, or I can find something in that genre that I like. As long as it's not overproduced, not auto-tuned, it it's nice.
And
Live
another
stuff.
question another question for you,
Mhm.
branching off of this point, are documentaries, especially music documentaries.
Mm.
Um, I have found because I'm a music fan such as yourself, and
Mhm.
again, I wanna hear your take on it, is there are so many bands that I have become fans of because of their
Mhm.
documentary.
Hmm.
Y Is it the same for
Let's see.
you?
Uh, it's been a long time since I've really watched any documentaries, but, like, I mean, I remember younger stuff for Pantera, Metallica, Motley Crue, shit like that when I was a kid. That was how I learned a whole lot of stuff back in the '80s, '90s, early 2000s, but I do need to watch some more documentaries. It's been a long time. I think you sent me a whoops. Sorry about that. Hopefully, I didn't bump that too hard. I think you sent me a CD. It might be sitting over here that was behind the scenes of was it Charring or
Oh,
was
The
it
Essence.
Commit? Let's see.
Yeah, The Essence. It was a
Okay.
DVD, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
okay, so you're a
Okay.
fan of that kinda stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a DVD player on here, so actually, if you can send me like a video file of that through email or whatever, that would be awesome. I'd be able to watch it finally. I
I
keep
pr
forgetting
yeah,
to tell you that. And
I'll
that'll
take
be a
care of
good
you off the air.
All right, cool. That'll be a good place for me to start. Like I said, documentaries are good, and I've watched like a lot of documentaries that had just a bunch of different bands. But maybe we need to put out some more documentaries. Maybe we could do that, and that'll
That'd
help.
be
Hey,
cool.
yeah, we could do a mix of stuff that you know a lot and stuff that I know a lot. And, I don't know.
Well
Figure
I'm
something
not
out down the line.
yeah,
You're
I'm not
busy
gonna
enough and I'm busy enough. I'm not saying tomorrow, it could be 5 years down the line, we finally get out one, and it's 20 minutes long with 4 bands.
that would be interesting, actually. Do
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a instead of, like, doing a podcast and whatnot or
Mhm,
showcasing a band that way, if we did, like, 5 to 10-minute long, like, documentaries to
mhm,
showcase that'd
yeah,
be interesting because most people do watch, 5 to 10-minute long
yeah,
stuff, so,
shorter
um
stuff. I actually do like longer content. Like
me too.
documentaries and even movies. I mean, like I got dragged into seeing Titanic and I actually walked out liking it and I was glad that it was such a long movie. Dances with Wolves. I love that movie. One of my favorite movies. That's like over a 3-hour movie. Glad that it was that long. It needed to be. And it kind of
It's
sucks
classic.
that people are losing their I guess, concentration and are only able to digest a few minutes at a time like that,
Right. Well, in
you know?
closing and whatnot, I want to
Yeah,
thank
go
you for
ahead.
coming on and hanging with me.
Yeah, man.
Now, what is next for Ragnar and your radio stuff?
Uh,
And where's going to be the best place for people to check that out?
well, right now I'm focusing on this job that I have. I just got my drums set up and I want to get some drum stuff recorded for Crippled Riff. I got to get my house sold before I can really do anything with the radio thing. I was just starting to plant some seeds here and there. Transcending Obscurity Records, check them out. I'll be working closely with them for a lot of the bands that I'll be playing, as well as Morbund Records. You can check them out. Be a lot of stuff coming from there as well. Uh, I'll make sure and send that to you so that you don't forget. And then what was the label that was putting out your stuff? I thought about talking to him, seeing if he wanted some
Oh,
promotion like that and working together.
yeah, No Life to Metal Records. Yeah,
No
check
Life
them
Till
out.
Metal. That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's I love Scott and Bill. They're the best. So,
all right, cool.
and if you ever need some Lost Wisdom stuff, you let me know too.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Got you.
I'll let you know. 100%, brother. But yeah, the radio show it'll come a little bit later. I got to upgrade this equipment. I need to get really a Wi-Fi extender out here or figure out a way to run a cable into the Wi-Fi because it's like on the other side of a house that's I don't know, a couple hundred feet that way. So I would need
Sure,
quite a
man.
long wire. But, I mean,
So,
I
okay,
still get good Wi-Fi out here. It was dropping out on us earlier. I don't know why, and now it's working just fine again.
right.
I
Well, the
mean, I
best
don't think
place to
anything's
support
dropped
you
out.
though.
Yeah, and the best place to support me would be House of Ragnar and no OOF, it's OV.
.com, right?
Yeah, and I'll put it down in the description below. I already liked the stream from Crippled Riff. So I'll put all that stuff down there. I'll leave a comment. That'll help
Sure, man.
with the algorithm, you know,
Sure, man.
and then
Well,
everyone will
Ben
be able to find me.
well, Benny, I really appreciate a moment of your time and jumping on with me to talk some shop and
Yeah, man.
about these topics, and hopefully we can get some footing on it in the near future. But
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we'll do this again and again and again. I
And I'm
promise. So
slowly getting my footing on this stuff. I mean,
yes. So anyway, but for another episode of Poppitt's Corner, guys, we're out of here.
all right.
Cheers.
Appreciate it, guys.